All right then, time for part two. So you've gotten this far. You've saved your work. This is the shape of our superclip, but it has no details yet. Just looks like a block of wood. In fact, you're going to get two blocks of wood if you haven't already, so we need to split this into two. Let's use our line tool, the pencil. And we're going to use some of SketchUp's built-in handles. SketchUp has some handles built in. At the end of each line, there's an endpoint. And at the middle of each line, there's a midpoint. That's the halfway point on that line. You see that? I can find it just by moving my pencil around. I'm going to start from this midpoint, and I'm going to go to this midpoint and click. Now you can see I've split my piece into two. Now I'm going to orbit around, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other sides. Now this says endpoint because there's a line ending over there. There's a midpoint. And I'm going to click there and go to that midpoint. See, I'm going all the way around to the other side. Endpoint to endpoint. And now my superclip, your superclip may look like this already. If we glued ours together already, this is what it's going to look like. So we glue our two strips together and boom, we've got this. This is our superclip blank. Let's save it real quick. Now it's time to add some guide points. And you know that we're going to need to drill some holes in here, right? And we're going to need to make some cuts. So we'll use this origin end as the front end of the clip. And this other end will be the back end. So we know most of our measurements come from this side. So I'm going to take my tape measure tool. In order to drill a hole in a precise location, I need some way of measuring out where it goes. Just like in real life, we're going to measure from the end of our superclip, and we're going to come over 1.5 inches. Well, it looks like it's telling me 1.5 already, but that might be hard to find. So I'm going to say 1 space 1 over 2 on my keyboard. And you can see in the right corner, length says 1.5. Look over here. See this spot down here? Watch that when I type it in again. Now my tape measure needs to have started on the very end point, and it needs to be on the line when I do this. Now I'm going to do it again. 1 space 1/2, enter. And now what it did is, if you look closely, it added a little tick mark there, a guide point. That's going to be the center of the hole that I draw. You're going to do the same thing when you measure out on your physical piece, your piece of wood. You're going to make a mark right there too. Let's do another one for the second hole. And you may remember that measurement is 4 inches. Now I'm just going to type 4 and press enter. And if you notice, there's the other little guide point. It's very small, but it's there. Pretty cool, eh? We're almost done with these guides. Well, maybe not. We got to add some more. As you may remember, we need to measure down on the two ends for the skinny side of the superclip. What's that measurement? It's 3/16. We're going to come down 3/16, so I'm just going to type it in. 3/16 and press enter. And again, I'm going to do the same thing down here. Click and move up this time. 3/16, enter. Now you can see those little guide points are there and there. And now I'm going to connect the dots. This is a fun part. Let's use our line tool. And let's go from here over to here. Boom. And this is just like what we'll do in real life. We'll use a ruler, of course. But SketchUp makes it a lot easier to just connect those dots perfectly, huh? All right, last one we're going to do here is we're going to add a circle for each of the holes. This first one is pretty big. We're going to click right on the dot, and we're going to come out 7/16. Now we're entering 7/16 here because this is the radius and not the diameter. Our drill bits are measured by diameter, so it's 7/8. Half of 7/8 would be 7/16, and that's the radius. So I'm going to type in 7/16, press enter. And the second hole is going to be, click, it's going to be 3/8, so 3/8. And that's because our hole will be 3/4 diameter. So now save your work, and once you've gotten this far, you can move on to the next video in the series. Great job.